Hello everyone and welcome back to Stampin Squirrels. It's Debbie here, Squirrel 2, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make this great card using the much forgotten Rooted in Nature stamp set. Autumn's upon us, sad to say, but so time to think about some of those autumn cards. So I thought it'd be really nice to maybe reintroduce this one. Not yet retired, and I'm really pleased about it. So versatile. Got a great range of Christmas trees in this one if you're looking towards Christmas. But I thought I'd make some sort of card with an autumn feel for it today. So we're going to be making this one, and we're going to be stamping our own background because I couldn't quite find some DSP that suited the colours that I wanted to use. And so we're going to be using this really lovely green. And I've forgotten completely what it's called, so I just have to have a quick look. Isn't that terrible? It's one of my favourites. Soft sea foam. Soft sea foam, everybody. Just lovely, and compared, or when you contrast it with the crumb cake, it's just a really lovely contrast. So really pretty as well. So I thought what we'll be doing is stamping our own background and then just pulling that together as well. So let's get started. So what do you need to make the card? So to make the card you need a card base, and this card base measures 11 3/4 by 4 1/8, and it's been scored at 5 7/8, and it makes a card that's 5 7/8 by 4 1/8. Then you're going to need a piece of crumb cake, which is 5 3/4 by 4 inches, and your piece of white, which you're going to be using to stamp your background, that measures 5 5/8 by 3 7/8 of an inch. And as I said, we're going to be stamping all over this to create our background. You just need a piece of scrap crumb cake, and we're going to be using some oval layering dies just to cut that out. And some scrap white as well to do your other stitched rectangle, other stitched oval, and to also stamp a few bits and bobs from the front of the card. So you need some scrap to stamp the leaves, that sort of thing. Okay. So the first thing we're probably going to do is stamp the background. That's the most important. So like I said, this piece of white card, 5 5/8 of an inch by 3 7/8 of an inch. And what you just need to do is, using the green, I'm going to stamp, and I've got some glue on that already. Using the green, we're just going to stamp all over really lightly using some of the stamps from the Rooted in Nature stamp set. So I've chosen for mine the big leaf, and then this lovely kind of spray as well, and you can probably see here how I've used it, and then I've gone over the top with the leaves. I didn't stamp off, I only stamped off for the leaves, so there's no sort of rhyme or reason for doing this. It's exactly how you want it to appear. I started around the edge, and I sort of decided I didn't want them too close together. So I thought if I started around the edge, then I could decide how close I wanted things to be. There, so I've probably got enough of those sprays. I'm going to pop that to one side, and then I'm going to bring in the leaf. And I didn't actually fill in the gaps. I went over the top with this, just where I wanted it to be. And that's just the background for the card. Really super easy. And sometimes you don't find the right paper to put on your card, and so you can just create your own. So we're going to bring the card base back, and I'm going to take the crumb cake matte layer, and I'm going to just mat this up. Like that. Then I'm going to bring my card base in, and I'm going to pop that on the top. Okay, so now that I've matted that up, I've put the layer that we've stamped onto the crumb cake. I'm going to take some twine. So if you look back at my original card, I've wrapped some twine around the middle, and it's best to do that at this stage. So this piece of twine, the natural twine, it's about 30 inches long. And you know, you get such a great amount in the reel, so it doesn't really matter that you're going to use this much. I wanted to have a little bow about this area here, so I left a little tail and I just simply wrapped it like this. And then I chose to just knot it. And then if I want to later, I can make a bow, or I can just keep it knotted like that. So I'm going to take this time to just separate that out. Like that. And then I'm just going to stick this down now onto my card base. Great. So the next stage is a little bit more stamping. We're going to stamp the greeting. And we're going to be using the You Are Wonderful from the stamp set. It's a nice big greeting, so I'm going to put it on a big block. Here, and I'm going to be using crumb cake. So I'll use the crumb cake for this. And then we'll take the oval dies. Now these oval dies, the stitched oval die that I'm going to be using measures 2 3/4 by 1 3/4. And the larger oval die is 2 1/8 by 2 1/2. And so I'm just going to pop that on like that, and I'm going to cut it out. And then I'm going to take my piece of scrap crumb cake and I'm going to cut the larger oval die from the crumb cake. I'm just going to pop off and do that, and then I'll come back. Okay, so I've now stamped those out from the, stamped them, and I've cut them out using the ovals. So I'm just going to simply mat those together. Now on the original card, I've just stuck these on top of each other. I've only put dimensionals underneath. Wonderful. And the next bit is a little bit more stamping. So you're just going to take a little bit of scrap white and you're going to stamp some leaves. So stamp some leaves. I've got a variety of leaves in the Rooted in Nature pack. So I'm bringing back the green, I'm bringing back the crumb cake. It's such a great leaf, that one. It's got so much detail. So let's have one darker, one lighter. So I've got 2 leaves and 2 of the other leaves. I'm just going to go and pop those on with the dies now and cut those out as well, and then I'll come back. Okay, so I've cut those out and I'm now really just going to assemble the card. So I kind of want all of the activity over here where the knot is. So I'm just going to probably place my leaves like this, maybe this one like this, and then do my bow. So first thing I'm going to do is put a couple of dimensionals on this bit. Lovely, and so I think I will tie this in a bow rather than have it in a knot. Like that. I'm just going to snip the twine. And then I'm going to slip the leaves. And then I think I'm probably going to put this one like that. So for this one, I may use a dimensional. Stick that in there. Let's stick it on top. That's great. There. So really that's the basis of the card. I'm just going to try and finish that off now. So I'm just going to use some of the in colour dots. I've got these lovely, the cinnamon cider ones and the bumblebee, very autumnal. So I'm going to use just a couple of these. So that's it. So Rooted in Nature, autumnal looking card with your own stamped background. Super easy to do, really enjoyed it. I love the colour combo as well. That green and the crumb cake are just divine together. Hope you've enjoyed it. I've loved doing it. Thanks for coming by and saying, oh my god, blah, 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 1, 2, 3. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I've enjoyed doing it. Thanks for stopping by and we hope to see you again really soon in Stampin' Squirrels. For now, bye-bye.